Hello everyone, welcome back to Excellence Physio. I am Lahir Shehu Balli. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing about scoliosis. Our guest of today is...
Hello everyone, my name is Alia Siraj. I am pursuing Bachelor's of Physiotherapy from Integral Institute of Medical Science and Research.
So, our viewers want to know what is scoliosis.
Before starting the topic, I would like to expand my thanks to you guys. You guys are doing commendable job, and thanks Excellence Physio for inviting me here. So scoliosis is a sideways curvature of a spine, which is lateral curvature of the spine. When we talk about the spine, we talk about not only spine, it includes our ribs, our body posture, our back, core muscles, everything. When our posture used to just attain sideways curvature, it affects everything. In fact, our visceral organs used to compress and decreases the life expectancy of the people.
So, what are the causes of scoliosis?
The causes of scoliosis is not known whole, but it can arise as congenital right from the birth when a child is at embryological state and the tissues are dividing, and the one side of the spine is growing at a normal pace while other spine is not growing at a normal pace, or it's higher or lower. So there is a difference in the spine and there is a curvature of the spine. What happens in scoliosis is like this is spine, so the one side of the spine is muscles are more strengthening, so that side of the spine is used to just curve that side. What happening? The muscles are contracting, the muscles are strengthening more. So this is the main cause. The neuromuscular like spina bifida and muscular issues like muscular dystrophy, these sciatica, that postural deficiency, when the patient is in failure of attaining correct posture, these are the causes of the scoliosis.
So, is there any prevention of these causes?
Prevention, when the child grows, when they are not able to attain a good posture, we used to observe them, and we can visually see that the curvature is laterally deviated. So then we are getting that child may be having a scoliosis like issue. So what we can do initially, we can go for the correct posture. We can go for the posture rehabilitation. We should ask the patient to at least maintain the stability, stretching, strengthening, and the one side of the back muscles which are weaker, we should focus on the strengthening of those muscles so that the patient may be able to acquire a correct posture.
So, what are the management of this scoliosis?
Management depends upon patient to patient. Primarily, scoliosis is a condition which can't be treated overnight. Patient acquires gradually, we are going to treat gradually. It's not a condition when we are going to treat overnight. When a patient comes, it depends upon patients to patients. When a patient comes with a pain issue, obviously we are going to tackle the pain problem. We can go for the IFT, interferential therapy, TENS, transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulations, so that the patient may feel less pain or may feel stable. Other than that, we can focus on posture correction exercises, breathing exercises. Many of you think, why would we go for breathing exercises? When there is a tilt in the posture, when the deviation in the spine, it also affects the lungs, because there is a costovertebral joints. So with the ribs are attached to the spine. So when the ribs are getting affected, it also compressing the lungs. The patient may complain of dyspnea. Many of us would not relate the scoliosis with the dyspnea, but it is related. So we have to go for the breathing exercises so that patient may feel easy in breathing. And we should go for Scroth exercises in which we focus on strengthening of the back core muscles. We can go for the clap exercises, stretching and strengthening of back exercises. There are many there are preventive measures to just lessen the pain or just complication of scoliosis. In the severe cases, when the scoliosis got more severe, There is an appearance of gibbous-like structure, that camel hump-like structure on back. Why it is appears so? The curve, that is a natural curve. We can usually say that increase in Cobb's angle. And for many of them who don't know what Cobb's angle is, there is a curvature of the spine, this curvature. So we'll draw imaginary line from the right on the tip of the curvature and right from the below where the curvature ends. Where these two imaginary lines meet, that angle is Cobb's angle. So when this Cobb's angle increases, the severity of scoliosis also increases.
So what is the complication of the surgery?
See, surgery is the last option left. When there is no cure there is no proper rehabilitation possible, the lungs are getting compressed, the other vital organs are getting compressed, surgery is the last option. But surgery is a very complicated process for this, because here you are dealing with the vertebral column, and where the spinal canal used to be there is a higher chance of infections, and when it includes the infections, it would affect the central nervous system, and hence of course increases the high risk of complications and all. So the surgery is risky here, but of course when there is no option left, surgery is to be done.
So what are the signs and symptoms of this condition?
When patients comes to us, we should properly analyze the patients. We should see the level of their shoulders, the tip of the shoulders, it has to be in the same level. When the patient shows deviation on the one side, tilting of the shoulders, we can see there is a postural incorrection, and we should analyze the cause behind this incorrection. We should see what's the issue behind it. We should clearly observe the spinal column. Is there any abnormality? We can see the pelvic raise on the one side and the deviation on the other side. Due to this reason, we can also view limb length discrepancy. And we should analyze the walking pattern, gait of the patient. We should see how the patient is bending. And for these are the signs we can analyze the scoliosis. And in the severe cases, we can see that there is a tilting of the spinal column on the one side. So it's quite observable in the severe cases. But to perform, just to check that there is scoliosis or not, we can perform the Adams forward bending test. When the patient used to bend forward on their toe to touch the toe, so we can see that there is quite like deviation of the shoulders on the one side. So the Adams forward bending test is done.
Up to what extent scoliosis affect the patient?
Scoliosis is generally seen on a narrower aspect. Scoliosis affects body all over. We generally see on the sagittal plane generally, but it also affects on a coronal plane, on axial plane, because it's a three-dimensional issue. It affects our ribs, our vital organs, our back, our posture, our back core muscles, it can compress any nerves and it causes cervical. It can cause a nerve impingement of sciatica and cause a nerve impingement at lumbosacral segment and cause sciatica. So it's a three-dimensional problem, and it needs to be cured on that basis only. It needs to be cured where the pain is located, where the patient is facing the problem. It has to be cured on that aspect only.
This is the end of today's video. Thank you for the information.
Thank you, Excellence Physio, once again for inviting me here. You guys are doing really good job. Thank you.
Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.